Kylian Mbappe versus Lionel Messi, a battle that everyone would love to watch. Two stars of the football world and one of the biggest names in the sport. One, a legend in the making, and the other, one of the greatest of the game. And they have a fair bit of history too. They've shared a dressing room at Paris Saint Germain. And the two have the same mentality. They both love the feeling of winning. Both are skillfully feisty on the field, and that's where, though, the similarity ends. The two have contrasting views on Euros and where it stands when it comes to the top competitions in the world of football.
It's
a competition that is very complicated for me, more complicated than a World Cup. If we talk about level, it's difficult because all the squads know each other. We're used to playing against each other all the time. So tactically, it's similar football. It's very, very difficult. From the group stages, it's very, very difficult.
Euros more difficult than a World Cup. Now, that's a bit of a shocker, even from Mbappe, isn't it? I mean, I'm all for pride, but maybe Mbappe is overstating this. But if anyone can make a statement like that, it had to be Mbappe. He won the World Cup with France in 2018 and reached the final in 2022. And the only international trophy Mbappe hasn't won just yet is Euros. So I understand the sentiment behind him saying it. Not winning something means it is that much more unattainable to you. If France do end up winning Euros, though, Mbappe's comment would stand for posterity, glorifying his career. Him winning Euros and a World Cup. Incredible. But let's go back to what he said. Winning Euros more difficult than a World Cup. How can the biggest tournament in football be below a continental tournament? So quite obviously, Lionel Messi has hit back at Mbappe.
The Euros are very important, but it leaves out Argentina, 3-time world champion, Brazil, 5-time world champion, Uruguay, 2-time world champion. There are many world champions left out to say that the Euros is the most difficult, right? In the World Cup, the best teams are there. All the world champions are generally there. That's why everyone wants to be world champion.
Messi does make a valid point. Let me set this up for you. In the 2024 edition, 53 teams competed in the qualifiers in the quest to book 24 spots for Euros. A World Cup has more than 200 teams from 6 different confederations still battling it out for 48 spots in the main draw of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Now, you're talking about many more teams from around the world coming in to compete for the trophy. So I tried to decipher what Mbappe really meant. Maybe he feels Euros is more difficult because all the teams are so used to playing each other. So you need to find more different ways to crack into teams who you are very familiar with. Familiarity lends to predictability. So maybe he means it's tough to defeat predictability, which is probably why there are hardly many upsets you witness in Euros. Reason why the winners of the last 3 editions have been the big guns in Spain, Italy, Spain and Portugal. On the other hand, World Cups pose the delicious treat of the uncertainty. You see lower-ranked sides competing against the big guns, and that gives way to more exciting football. In 2022, we saw the rise of the smaller Asian sides. Saudi Arabia beating Messi's Argentina. 4-time world champions Germany getting knocked out of a group that had Spain, Costa Rica and Japan. And of course, 2016 Euros winners Portugal crashing out to Morocco in the quarterfinals. Bigger the platform means opening it up to bigger competition and lending itself to more intense contests and rivalry. The World Cup is a platform for all of this. A time to see giants up against underdogs, but can the same be said about Euros? I'll explain. You're looking at the World Cup winners from Europe versus from the South America. Europe's 5 teams, Germany, Italy, France, England and Spain, have won 12 World Cup titles between them, whereas South America's Argentina, Brazil and Uruguay alone have won the World Cup 10 times. So Mbappe's statement about Euros being more competitive clearly doesn't sit that well. How can a tournament that doesn't feature 3 countries who have won 10 World Cups amongst them alone be less competitive than Euros, which is what Messi was in fact countering with? Is Mbappe trying to say that if he has not won it, it's not easy after all? Whatever the reason, this statement, though, has set up the upcoming Euros and the Copa America tournaments rather nicely, 2 of football's biggest continental rivalries that will also determine which continent is the biggest when it comes to football.
of Italy's famous cuisine? Well, we are serving it with a side of diplomacy. As G7 leaders gather in southern Italy, Vantage is taking you to the heart of the action. What's the agenda? Who's invited? And how is Italy preparing for it? Catch the special edition of Vantage throughout this week, only on Firstpost.
A first-of-a-kind sports show that's played on a different turf. A first-of-a-kind sports show that will always come up with a winner. Are you looking for perspectives that go beyond the scoreline? Hi, I'm Rupha Ramani, and catch a 360-degree view of the sporting world with me here on Firstpost in our special Firstpost.